Hey guys, Shane here to give you a movie review of the movie Project Power, starring Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Dominic Fishback. Hopefully, I can get this one done right the first time. So, this is going to be a review. There will be spoilers in it, so I'm going to give you enough time to just pause the video, come back and watch it. And just remember, you want to get more movie reviews based on comics, manga, video games, all sorts of news, all sorts of videos, even some think pieces, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone that watches these and share these. Just trying to give you guys enough time to decide whether or not you're going to stick around for the review. So, again, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share the video. You back? You ready? So, Project Power is I'm trying not to go through piece by piece of what happens in this movie, but essentially, people are getting their powers from a pill that they take. And the opening scene from this movie, it's very comic booky. It has a very comic book feel. And you see a drug supplier. Uh, the only time they do this is they tell you we're in New Orleans at 3 in the morning, and then when it shows you 6 weeks later, where this young new dealer named Newt, he's just asking what's in it for them, why they're giving them the drugs, because all they say is take these drugs and then make money. And it just cuts to the 6 weeks later, and within that time, there's notable crime increase with people with strange abilities and people seeing strange things. And we come in on this young lady who is rapping, has the pill, and apparently she is a drug pusher. Her name is Robin, and three young men try to beat her and take her drugs. But then this cop comes up, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, name is Frank. He's gonna arrest her and just tells them to leave. But turns out he's there to buy pills from her too, because he's just trying to even the playing field. And he also gives her with the motorbike because it was her birthday a while ago, apparently. And he just gives her this motorbike. She's apparently really good at riding this thing. She sneaks on home. Uh, we find out that her mother is sick just from the look of her. Later on, we find out that it's diabetes, but it looked like cancer to me, but it's diabetes. Apparently, apparently she is the cousin of Newt, and a scene transition between that night and day. Jamie Foxx, his character, has rolled into town and goes to the slums. He's going there to meet Newt off of a tip of another person, and we have a nice little funny exchange. But Jamie Foxx is smart enough to get through the latch, get into his apartment. Newt has a alligator on chain, and he's on the second floor of the slums, and there's a giant hole in the floor. Just very interesting how this is going down. And at the time, excuse me, at the time, he Jamie Foxx is interacting with Newt. He has a shotgun. He's like, "Look, I'm just gonna ask you some questions. You just tell me where you're getting it from. Listen to the sound of my voice. Does it sound like I'm lying?" Newt pops a power, and what we noticed from 6 weeks earlier, his face is scarred, I believe, on his right side, and turns out his ability is flame, and it's very coincidental because in folklore, people believe newts and salamanders were born from flame when they threw logs on the fire, but no, it's obviously salamanders and newts live in very damp places. Those logs used to be wet and damp, but I digress. Chase scene ensues, going from one floor to the next, and Newt's and the crazy thing about these power pills, they're called power, and they only last for 5 minutes. So Newt pops three more, and Jamie Foxx they're in this woman's kitchen. He gets to the bathroom, wets his jacket, the tub is filling up, and he just keeps submerging Newt in water. He's saying, where's Buyer, where's all this? And he gets information about a person named Biggie and all this other stuff. And then suddenly Newt is still, catching fire, and Jamie Foxx is like, "How many of those things did you take?" And he explodes, just explodes. As we find out earlier from Frank during the standoff with the three young men, one of them was going to take a pill, he tells them, no one knows what their power is, and you could just explode. Some people have died from this. So we transition you guys back to the morning where Robin's mother tells her to check up on her cousin because he lives in an area and there's a whole bunch of fire and stuff like that going on. Jamie Foxx wraps his arm because he gets really deep burns, and apparently, excuse me, apparently he's getting some PTSD flashbacks. Which, if you've seen the trailers, you know what's going on in here. And we're gonna get to that in a second. So we get to Robin in school. Her teacher blows her up because she's trying to text her cousin, who she thinks is her cousin. It's actually Jamie Foxx, and they talk through emojis the whole for some of it, which is pretty understandable. I guess these people have a language. Pushers have a language, so it makes sense. And in her mind, her friend says, "Well, she's gonna rap. She can rap if she doesn't make it through school because the teacher tries to blows her up, tells her she's getting a D. He'll give her a C if she, has a plan." And then in her mind, she does this amazing rap, which her lines are fantastic throughout this entire movie. And again, all of it's just in her mind. She just takes her book, leaves. I don't even know if she stays to school throughout the whole day, but she leaves out of the classroom. And we are then transitioned, and this is 22 minutes into the movie, we transition into Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his partner, who doesn't matter what his name is, right? We only see him for this scene here. Apparently, there's a standoff. One of the guards from this bank is saying, like the guy was invisible. He was there, but then he wasn't. And the captain is talking to some guys in black suits, and they're going to take over. And apparently, this has happened before. So Frank tricks another officer so he can take his spot and sneaks in the back. He pops a pill, times himself for 5 minutes, and we get this nice long chase scene of Frank chasing the Invisible Man. And as he chases the Invisible Man down the streets of New Orleans, the robber opens up the bag and some pink dust pops out while he's on the trolley. Frank gets shot point blank in the head. Apparently, his ability is armor skin. So while he only has 30 seconds, he still gets up. He beats on this dude, and he's about to hit him straight in the head. But at first, I thought it was maybe super strength, but it's kind of the Luke Cage thing where the iron skin adds to the super strength. We get him being checked up by a medical person, but then the chief asks to speak to him privately. Chief says, "Did you take a pill?" He admits to taking it. Earlier on, he rationalizes with Robin saying, "I'm just trying to even the playing field because there's too much crazy stuff going on." Chief asks him for his gun and badge, and this is one of the dumbest moments for me because without asking a question, just like, give me your stuff, and he's like, "I don't want I don't want any of my officers doing that." And Joseph Gordon-Levitt gives some really great speeches, even the one with the kid with the three young men may have been practice, like he practices giving tough speeches to people, but the speech he gives to the chief, where he talks about men in suits were supposed to help us, during before, alluding to Katrina, and you see what that got us. And Chief shows a picture of Jamie Foxx saying, "This is the guy we're looking for. He's the pusher." But as us, the omnipotent viewer, knows that's not true. Uh, while Frank is posing as Newt, he's waiting all day for Robin. Robin shows up. He kidnaps her, convinces her that he's going to kill her mother because, Robin's going to refill mother's prescription. And he sees her name is Irene. He's like, "I'll kill your mother." And this, that, and the third says, "Does it look like I'm lying? Look at my eyes. Does it look like I'm lying?" Very funny. And at this point, I'm still trying to understand what is actually the point of the people just pushing this drug. And we do get a scene where a lady cartel boss who can spread the stuff all over comes in, and the main guy, he's there with this other lady. And he's like, "Yeah, we'll make lots of money." She came in on a private plane, and these men in suits and all this other business. we get Jamie Foxx interrogating Robin and telling, when she tries to cry and says she's a kid, it's like, you're pushing drugs. You're not a kid anymore. You can't pull that because kids don't do this. And he convinces her to go along with his plan. He's just saying he's looking for his daughter. That's really all he wants. His daughter's name is Tracy. And when we get to a supermarket scene, it's in a Cantonese supermarket, and Robin asks for alligator because Newt says if anything happens, ask for alligator. And while Robin was trying to talk to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who needed another pill, she tries to say help. Jamie Foxx takes the phone. So as we get into this scene, she meets up with Alligator, who then takes a pill and times himself. And because Robin lets him know that, there's this guy called the Major, he's right outside. He's the one that brought me here. This amazing fight scene. Like, Jamie Foxx's fight scenes are pretty good. He's killing people even with a gun, without a gun. And it turns out that Robin is inside of a mobile, like, the Alligator's office was a mobile base in a truck. And they try to drive off. Jamie Foxx takes care of them. He's shot really bad, like in the shoulder and everything else. And he's having flashbacks of his daughter Tracy. He thinks Robin's Tracy. And apparently, Alligator's ability might be regeneration, because you get a very nice scene that's reminiscent of X-Men 2 with Wolverine Origins, where Wolverine pushes the bullets out of his head and out of his body. And as Robin is running back to this supermarket from being almost in the middle of nowhere, just trying to get through it, I guess as a kid, she's just trying to retrace her steps and get out of there, which kind of doesn't make sense, because if you were out in the middle of the street, she could have just ran home. Maybe she was just trying to get her phone back or something like that. I don't know, but she's making her way back, and everything's shut down. There's no one there because obviously this was the front, and Alligator's there to kill her. Jamie Foxx defends her. Alligator's time runs out, and Jamie Foxx is able to kill him. And while Robin's about to try to escape, Jamie Foxx is like, look, I really need your help. I just want to get my daughter back. I'll pay you money if that's all. You're trying to get money for your mother's diabetes medication and all that stuff, and she needs a surgery. I'll pay you. And one of the notable scenes is Robin's supposed to bring soup for her mother, and a can of soup rolls down while they're having this conversation. She's like, fine. But Jamie Foxx passes out. Apparently, Robin's mother works at a veterinary place, and the girl can suture. I'm assuming she's 15 or 16, and she's took the bull out of him, taking care of him, and she has this converse. They converse back and forth, and it's very reminiscent of the Tuskegee Airmen incident with the experiments they did on those black men, because Art, that's Major's real name, Art, but we're just going to keep calling Major. He was in the Army, or should I say in the military, and they did experiments on him. And a callback to something that Robin had learned in school was about whatever they were giving him passed down to his daughter. And apparently he tried power once, and whatever happened, it killed a bunch of people around him, and he almost killed himself. So he doesn't do it anymore. But, excuse me, apparently she can activate her powers without needing a pill. And the craziness behind it is that they abducted her. So we also get this nice little car ride scene where he has a flashback to that moment. That's why he's looking for a man with the bald man with the beard and a lady. He says, Robin, okay, so have you done it? She says she saw a girl OD on it, so she's too afraid to take it. She's not going to take it. And, you're doing all this for money. You could do something else. And he's like, what? He tells her, go to the Army. Use the system. The system is trying to use you. Use the system to get the most you can out of it. Gives her this amazing speech about her being a young black woman, and everything's stacked against her already. So you have to use what you have to use the system against itself. Very great message. This movie is perfect if you really need to show something to young ladies. I don't think a lot of comic booky movies or sci-fi movies speak to young ladies nowadays. we shouldn't just have things like Miss Marvel or Black Widow or even a female Doctor Who. It's nice for those things out there, but there's not a lot of things for young black women or women of color. So this is something really nice. So he asked her what she can do. She said she can rap, and at first he was laughing, but she proves that she's really well versed, and these are some of the best rap lines I've heard in movie movies. Period. And just fantastic. Um, she convinces him to take her with him as he goes on this crusade to get back his daughter. Obviously, they have a negotiation over money, and it was a very funny scene where uh, where they meet up with this person that they're there to find because they see this guy's face on this mobile base the alligator had when he explains that it's a government and it's a government group called Telios. Okay, sure. They find the guy. He's supposed to go to a check cashing station, which he's dressed nice and has a gun. Jamie Foxx steals the keys to his red motorcycle, gives it to Robin. Get it? Because she also makes the joke that they're Batman and Robin. He's trying to tell her this is real life, blah blah blah. But you get it. Her name's Robin. She has a red motorcycle now. So we haven't seen Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a while, but he meets up with her mother because some more men in black suits. They know Robin is in the center of all this stuff. They saw her at the Cantonese market. Joseph Gordon-Levitt does some very smart police work to get her out of that situation, get them out of the house, and to track them down to meet up where this check cashing place is. Um, Very good scene. I'm trying not to go through piece by piece because you should also watch this for yourself, but I want to review some of these things. Um, we get the whole bad guy speech, the guy with the, not the bald guy with the beard, but the guy with the beard, get the whole speech about this is Project Power. He's speaking to the cartel lady, saying these powers are based on animals. So armor skin, armadillo, invisibility, octopus, or chameleon. There's even a Wolverine frog or something that can sprout bones to protect itself. Okay. Never heard of a Wolverine frog. I've heard of a frog that can do that, but never heard of a name like that. But whatever. This is also reminiscent of a show from NBC called Heroes. I believe Heroes ended around 2007, 2008. Heroes was a really good show. I enjoyed it because it kind of reminded me of X Men, and X Men movies aren't really all that good. So when I saw something really great like that, just yeah, I don't know where you can watch it, but I suggest looking it up. Please look up Heroes. Heroes is really good. Anyway, he has to do a guinea pig, uh, but before he uses a guinea pig, he says their goal is to expand human potential. That's where it is, a new evolution of the species. They want to unlock the hidden potential in people's DNA. So the young lady that comes with the other guy, the rich, crazy guy, uh, they give her a pill. Her power is ice. And one of the funniest things, he says the tank is safe. I'm thinking he's saying it's safe for the people on the outside, but it is safe for her because her power is literally freezing her, and he calls it a thermo adjustment power or something of that nature. Um, he's able to turn the heat up to like 99 degrees so she can be comfortable and not die. And Frank sneaks in there, kills a bunch of people. A fight scene ensues. Black suit guys come in somehow, and one of the craziest things is they try to do a Daredevil hallway scene where I don't know if I've said this before, but Daredevil hallway scene is when they shoot a shot one time and it's just one continuous shot. So in season one of Daredevil, he's fighting people from room to room, and we're just following the camera. It's just one view, and it's amazing. One of the best things I've seen in TV movies. Period. I believe the movie Birdman with Michael Keaton was also shot like that. The movie from start to finish is one continuous thing. But I digress again. One of the funniest things that proves that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was not lying: a guy pops a power pill and he just literally explodes. So back to this continuous thing. The continuous thing is the lady now the regulator for the tank has been broken. She's starting to freeze based on her from her own power to death, and we're seeing Jamie Foxx's character Major outside killing people, making sure that the other guy named Biggie doesn't escape. And in the end, we see that even her own breath is frozen, even though she snaps and misses a finger and she's completely frozen. I rewatched this scene again, and it's not really that good because the action on the outside is kind of stuttery. Like you tell when people are moving, and it doesn't look. They're counting on you to try to see what's outside and try to focus on what's happening to her at the same time. So, yeah, it's not really one of the best shots, but watching it for the first time, it was very interesting to see. Just gonna go down here. They go to a boat named Genesis. That's where Biggie tells them they gotta go. And by they, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he meets up with Robin, tries to tell her, Jamie Foxx's character is the bad guy. He's pushing it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is possibly the dumbest person in this movie, and it's hilarious because you can feel his heart, you can feel the justice and all that other stuff, but he's dumb. Robin and I applaud this movie for making a teenage child character that's competent and not stupid. Excuse me. She understands that this guy killing my mom. He was lying about that. He wasn't lying about his daughter. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt comes in, and you get this nice little funny interaction where even though Jamie Foxx is injured, he still takes the gun from him. Biggie, we find out why he has his name, grows to 3 times his size, and his mangled part of his face before he grew. We see why because he gets one giant arm, and he's just hobbling after them. And it's a scene very reminiscent of Hulk chasing Black Widow in the first Avengers movie. And we get the typical Jamie Foxx unloosens some gas tanks as they're running. Obviously, Robin's not going to wait outside. She meets up with them. Frank steals a bunch of power pills. Jamie Foxx shoots the gas. They get an explosion underneath this hidden check cashing base, and Biggie is no more. Joseph Gordon-Levitt tells Robin to go home, and because he's going to arrest Jamie Foxx, he still believes his boss. And as he's taking him off, Robin sees the guy that Major's looking for, the bald head and the beard. So she follows this truck, and the trucks with Telios on it, they don't look like anything else in New Orleans. They don't look like anything. Like we see the urban areas, we see the slum areas, we see the ghettos, we also see the downtown areas. There's no trucks that look like this at all. So unless people are used to these people being around for 6 weeks, sure. But anyway, she follows him. We cut back, and I predicted this, and I wrote it in my notes. It's gonna be a backstab because the cop is too good, and he's called his boss, left him and said, I'm taking this guy to the precinct. I got him." And as I'm typing this out, because I made some notes, as I type this out, Jay Fox says, "You know what's gonna happen, right? First of all, I'm gonna tell you, I just want to get my daughter back." He's like, "Why should I believe you?" He's like, "I'm gonna tell you how this is gonna go." And Joseph Gordon-Levitt just thinks he's all in power because he's in the driver's seat and Jamie Foxx is handcuffed. Tells him, "Hey, your boss is gonna take me to a different location. They're gonna kill you, and then they're gonna take me." I'm okay with the second part, but because it's gonna get me close to my daughter. But are you okay with it? And they're stopped by a train. They can see that other truck on the other. They can see another one of those trucks on the other side. They can see people loading up with weapons, AR-15s with scopes, and all this stuff. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like, "All right, what do you need me to do?" They formulate a plan in that short amount of time, and he's off. Excuse me. So tells Robin tells the enemies along with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Okay, sure. They come up with this plan. They get inside. Robin is able to find out where Tracy is being held. They find out where Art is being held, and I'm trying to touch on another thing. They bring up Henrietta Lacks, African American woman who had cancer, and her cells, I believe it's called the HeLa human cell lines. It's one of the most important cell lines in medical research, period. So they touch on that. And that's where the bad guy woman who's with the bald head guy, she touches on that. She's saying we're trying to expand, human possibility, and Jane Fox is about to tell her to go fuck herself. Pardon the language. This is a rated R movie, but I also want to say they barely say fuck in this movie. Again, pardon my language. So they capture him. I guess they're just gonna take whatever cells they got left. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt takes a pill. Him and Robin are teaming up. Obviously, you get another show of power. The bald dude, his ability is just super strength. He's busting through these steel doors, trying to on his way to get to Robin because they figured out someone's in the control room because she sets off these buttons to give Frank enough time to get to Art/Major. And I want to touch on this scene with Major, and for whatever reason, they leave one guard with him. And he tells the guard about the pistol shrimp that kills, you can just kill people, not kill people, kill prey or enemies just because of how fast it punches. And how fast it punches, the shockwave can burn and this and that. That's kind of off. Actually, pistol shrimps don't really burn. They do burn the water atoms around where they're punching. They don't burn the skin of the prey. The force is enough to kill prey and dangerously and can critically injure most predators coming after them. They don't burn them. They just badly brutalize them. And the guard's saying to him, well, what's the point of the story? He's like, you want to know what my power is? He has a pill. He's like, just untie me. One of the smartest characters in the entire movie is that one guard. Because while bald-headed guy with super strength comes in, he's like, what the hell are you doing? He pieces out. He's like, I'm not having any part of this. I ain't dying today. Joseph Gordon-Levitt comes in, and while he's able to take this punch, Art gets the shotgun and kills the guy point blank, and it's kind of anticlimactic, Like he's here for this whole revenge story, but he doesn't really. I expected like a one-on-one fight, but it's just, and you're done. I will fast forward a little bit because Robin gets Tracy. Art makes note there's a lifeboat. They're gonna take the lifeboat and get the heck out of there. And the last guy has the Wolverine Toad frog powers, but the Wolverine frog powers are very reminiscent of Mero from X-Men slash this character from Naruto. Your name is I pulled up is Kimimaro, where he doesn't really take the bones out. It's just the bones are protruding, and he can slice and all this other stuff. And the fight scene between him and Major pretty good. Robin gives assistance and hit the guy with the giant weight. At this point, while they're trying to meet up with Tracy and Frank at the lifeboat, Robin, of course, gets captured. We get a very touching scene between Major and his daughter Tracy before they get to the boat, but she's telling him, "Don't take the pill." And Art was kind of alluding that the pill was only made for him. Okay, sure. So he comes out, scopes all on him. The bad lady, I don't even know if they even mention her name. I don't care what her name is. She's just the bad guy lady. She's saying, I will kill this girl, bring Tracy out. They obviously don't want to kill Tracy. That's why they stopped shooting at Frank when he was carrying Tracy to the boat. They don't want to kill Tracy, but he comes out and he says, look, give you another chance to get out of here or everybody's going to die. And she's saying, BS. He takes the pill, and one of the FX special effects in this movie is pretty good. He's destroying it's raining. It's raining in this scene now, and the water molecules aren't even really touching him. He's telling Robin to duck, and she's ducking, and he's throwing punches and just doing this, making shockwaves that are just blowing people up, causing canisters to smash into one guy. And then we see the crane was supposed to fall down on the bad lady. I wish I knew what the bad. Let me see if I can find this bad lady's name. Her name's supposed to be Gardner. I guess she's supposed to be the Gardner of life. We do see some plants over in the observation laboratory deck where Tracy was held, and I'm speculating that her power was life. Which we find out her power is life because once her father is done saving Robin, you know, his ability is making his heart stop. It looks like his blood is based on this effect they were doing, making this blood explode. He, he's dead on the floor, but Tracy uses her life giving powers. He's back alive. Towards the end, we find out that Frank is going to have a conversation with his captain and just tell the news story what's going on. Telios and the governmental people that are doing this experiment, they can't hide forever. He asks the major asks Frank, Art, is this over? And Art goes, what's over for me? Good luck. He gets a new truck. He leaves money for Robin at his old truck. So she goes home, gives her mother soup, hugs her, tells her she loves her. She has money for the operation. She has soup. We're assuming that Frank goes to take care of that. We get the scene of the Major and Tracy leaving out, and Tracy finally takes off her band. She's crying through a lot of this because she's finally free. The music in this movie is amazing as well. And we get on the radio saying by a new rapper, Robin such and such. Because Frank gives her a hug. Not Frank, sorry. Art, Jamie Foxx, the Major, gives her a hug before they leave and reminds her, use your power. Your power is to rap. Find something you're really good at and excel at it. And he's telling her to do that. You don't have to do any other side hustles or anything else. Use your abilities. And so she's using her ability. We even get a mid-credit scene of her, I guess sitting in the bay, or I'm not too familiar with the New Orleans area, but it's by the bridges and she's writing lyrics. So, I don't know how much time I have left on my camera, but what can I say about this movie? Now, I always do things 5 out of 5. Well, not 5 out of 5. I just do things out of 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, 3 being in the middle. So, the music was amazing. Movie pacing was pretty good. Acting, Jamie Foxx, fantastic. I liked him when he played Electro on Amazing Spider-Man 2, even though some people didn't. I think he did a really, really great job showing who that character is, regardless of race. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, again, even though he plays one of the dumbest characters in this movie, one of the stupidest people who doesn't, his heart is in the right place, but he's so dumb. I get it, dude. I really get it. But you're really dumb. But I really believe Joseph Gordon-Levitt should be, if not in a Marvel movie, he needs to have a bigger role in a DC movie. What's the guy? Christian Bale really screwed him over with being Dick Grayson because they really wanted him to be Dick Grayson in Dark Knight Rises. But Christian Bale don't want to have a Robin. Whatever. Dominique Fishback. This is my first time seeing her. Fantastic. This movie does a lot when it brings up things, and it alludes to a lot. I believe it alludes to Heroes, alludes to X-Men, Frank being, Army Ranger. That alludes to Tuskegee Airmen when he's been experimented on. They bring up Henrietta Lacks. They bring up a lot. This is a great movie for young black girls because you get that fatherly figure. This tries to touch on what goes on in urban areas and why people do some of the things they do, even the morally gray areas. You have a cop that's buying a drug from a teenager who's keeping her out of being arrested just so he can, fight the good fight on the streets with the same thing that's hurting it. I see potential here. A lot of the beats are just typical though. Like when I told you that the Major kills bald-headed guy, we see him kill him. We don't see Gardner. We don't see the lady with the thing. We're assuming the thing fell on her. Number one rule in movies, you gotta see a body. Didn't see a body. They left that open ended for another movie. I can easily see this getting two more movies. They just have to do it right. This is a fine line. This movie can this movie series can be amazing, but at the same time, it can be really really bad. I can see that happening. You still got Telios out there. This can continue. Now the talk of this movie started in October 2017, and taking 3 years, maybe in another 3 years we'll get a Project Power 2. I would suggest just playing up the name Power. Start a Project Power, do something else with Power, finish it up with Power, do the new Spider-Man trilogy thing. These films were directed by Henry Jost and Ariel Schumann. The movies they did were Catfish, Paranormal Activity 3, Paranormal Activity 4, Nerve, never seen it, Viral, never seen it, and this one. I didn't have a lot of expectation when I saw their names and what they did, but I saw the trailer. The trailer basically tells you what the movie's about. The writer for this movie, it's Mattson Tomlin, who wrote he wrote he wrote a movie called Little Fish that's coming out. He also produced. He also wrote for The Batman. Yes, co-written with Matt Reeves, starring No Push Up Pattinson, Robert Pattinson. So he can write a competent movie. And while the special effects in this movie is great, when everybody takes a power, it's great to see what goes on. And while I can follow the story as a writer, as a person who enjoys this medium, enjoys movies and things like this, I don't want to say it's too by the books, but it's original and I love it. But it's kind of by the books. The movie's not bad at all, but the movie's not soaring to the sky. At most, you can give it a 4. I'm going to be honest and give it a 3. It's an average movie. I don't plan on watching it again, but I can see myself going back to this. I can see myself being excited for a sequel or a trilogy from this. I kind of want to give it a 4. I'm close to giving it a 4 just because they did their best to try to seem like they wrapped it up. Like there's open-ended parts as a lot of these things do, but they closed it up pretty nicely. Um, but all in all, because of some of the glaring holes, like some characters doing things that don't make any sense. Excuse me, the bad guys' motivations in the very beginning. We don't find out their motivations until 45, maybe 50 to 60 minutes into this movie with the scene about, evolution. We've heard that before. Why do you want to do evolution? I kind of wish they would have just did what the cartel lady was saying. This is just so I can take over and rule. That would have made a lot more sense, but it is what it is. Again, my verdict, this movie is a 3 out of 5. Not terrible. If anybody tells you the movie's terrible, they're lying. If anybody tells you the movie is amazing, they're lying. Great sound, great acting from our 3 stars and 3 protagonists. Amazing music, especially coming from Dominique Fishback. Her Robin's rapping in here is amazing. You can follow the movie, but you know what's gonna happen. I even called uh, Frank getting betrayed by his captain before Jamie Foxx called it. I called it 2 scenes ago, and I just said I'm gonna wait and see how this plays out. Oh look, it happens. And another bad thing, I hate to say this, but if you're gonna do characters' names, make it memorable. Like when I saw the Major, I'm like, oh cool, that's Major. Oh, that's Robin. You see through this review, I'm calling her Robin because she is her character. Jamie Foxx's character. I don't remember art. I don't care about art, but the name, the Major, I remember that. When I see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I barely remember the guy's name is Frank, and probably also because he's stupid. He's dumb in this movie. Heart of Gold, love him, but he's dumb. He's dumb like a bulldog puppy. He's just dumb. So, tell me what you thought. Did you watch this movie? I hope you watched this movie. Give me a shout down there in the comments. Again, if you've been here for the whole 40 minutes, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Again, I'm gonna say it another time. This is a 3 out of 5. Give it a look. Netflix is coming out with a lot of good stuff. So hopefully next time I can finally get to Chris Hemsworth movie. That movie looks really good too. So guys, hope you enjoy your weekend. Be good. Be blessed. I'll see you again.